Is community a necessity when it comes to church? Absolutely. As we journey on this path, it is important that we do not bring the wrath of God upon ourselves due to unbelief. This is why we need to encourage one another to love and good deeds, as the author of Hebrews reminds us. The author of Hebrews tells us to consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds. This means that we should actively seek ways to encourage our brothers and sisters in Christ to do what is good and right. We should not forsake our own assembling together, as some are in the habit of doing. Instead, we should be courageous and encourage one another, especially as we see the day of Christ's return drawing nearer. Fellowship with other believers and regular systematic study of the Word should be more important, not less important, as the day draws closer. Some may say, "I've been studying the Bible for years, why do I need to keep doing it?" But as the day of Christ's return draws nearer, it is even more important that we continue to study the Word and encourage one another in the faith. It is not enough to say, "I don't feel like I need church today." We must remember that we are not just there for ourselves, but also for the person sitting next to us. We need to show up systematically, week after week, deliberately, to encourage our fellow believers. We should not show up just for what we can get out of it, but also for what others can receive by our presence and encouragement. Sometimes, we may not feel like we got anything out of a church service or Bible study. But instead of using that as an excuse to skip out on fellowship, we should ask ourselves what we are doing to encourage the believers who are in that room. By not showing up, we may be missing out on opportunities to encourage others and be encouraged ourselves. My dear friends, let us take this message to heart and encourage one another on the path to faith. Let us be deliberate in our attendance and participation in church and Bible study. Let us not forsake our brothers and sisters in Christ, but instead, let us encourage one another to love and good deeds. May the Lord bless and keep us on this path, and may we always be faithful to encourage one another along the way. This is brought to you by the Grace Commission Ministry, where we try to grow in our comprehension of God and His holiness and our conduct with one another. If you are feeling edified, please subscribe,